back every time until we fix this problem. Period.
But could I add one more thing?
Yes, sir.
Our Border Patrol agents are exhausted.
They are.
They have worked so many hours, and we had a hearing today in Judiciary, adding on a bill, adding requirement after requirement, millions and millions of dollars. They didn't give them any money in the 4.6 to do the job of enforcing the border. Our Border Patrol agents need help.
They do, and I appreciate you bringing that up. I'm going to talk about that at the end. At this point, I'd like to yield 10 minutes to my good friend and colleague from Pennsylvania, Brigadier General Scott Perry.
Well, thank you to the gentleman from Florida for hosting this special order and continuing to elevate this
Special
issue.
order, there's nobody in the room.
Keep talking about it because, well, the last time that we were speaking on this floor about the crisis on our southern border with Mexico, our colleagues on the other side of the aisle were still denying there was a crisis. If you remember, report after report, if you watch CNN, MSNBC, etc., they said it was a manufactured crisis, manufactured by Donald Trump. Now, I mean, to their credit, they finally agreed that there is a crisis. I just thought, well, such is the state of the new, the Democrats on the other side of the aisle, that mere acceptance of reality counts for progress around here. But, I mean, we got to be thankful that we're at least having a conversation sometime. But you would think with this crisis on our border, 5,000 people a day coming illegally. That doesn't count the ones coming at points of entry. Those are in between the points of entry, and that also doesn't count the ones that weren't caught, right? Those are the ones we caught, and usually Border Patrol says you can ×2 whatever we caught because others are getting through. You'd think that we'd be working around the clock here to fix this crisis at the border, since we all now agree
We're
that
screwed.
there's a crisis. But instead, my good friends on the other side of the aisle are focused on smearing the president. You know, and I get the partisanship, but what really troubles me is they're also focused on smearing Border Patrol and ICE agents that are duty-bound. They raise their right hand and take an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution and the laws that we created, that this body created. They're just doing their job that we asked them to do, and for that they're being criticized, demonized, and smeared. And to add further insult to injury, some of our colleagues are now saying that they want to abolish these folks, the agencies, ICE and Homeland Security. And you didn't hear that wrong. That's a solution. So a solution to the problem of people coming illegally, pouring across the border, a solution offered by the other side of the aisle in some cases is to abolish
Democrats.
the people that are, you know, the agencies and the
Yep,
people that
abolish the agencies that are watching these people come in, and they'll come in thousands and thousands a day. They got almost 5,000 a day that are coming in from across the border.
Of course, amnesty for illegal foreign nationals, that's going to fix the problem, because if you know that you can break the law and nothing's going to happen to you, I'm sure that's not an encouragement to keep on breaking the law. I'm sure that's not somehow. Decriminalizing illegal entry. So if you have somebody trespassing on your land and you go to the police and you say, hey, these folks keep trespassing on my land, and the police say, well, here's our solution. We're just going to make trespass legal now. Are you good with that? That doesn't seem like much of a solution. Eliminating detention facilities. So 30%, recently a study maintains that 30% of the young people, usually young girls, but not exclusively, but young people that are being brought in because these folks know that if they bring a child with them, it's tantamount to just immediate entry. 30% of them had no connection, had no familial, no family connection to the person that they're with. And so the reason to have detention facilities, among other things, is to try and figure out, is this child with a parent or a relative, or is this child being trafficked? A solution to this overwhelming problem offered by my friends on the other side of the aisle is to just get rid of the detention centers, the detention facilities. So the last place that this small child is looking for salvation, for safety, against this, to stop the trafficking that's happening at that time, looking to America, probably praying and hoping that finally when I get to America, they're going to find out that I'm being exploited in horrific ways, Our good friends on the other side of the aisle say, no, we're not going to do any of that. Just keep on exploiting the kids, but don't do it here. Don't do it in Mexico either. Now just keep exploiting them in your town. Well, that's not much of a solution. To me, that's horrific thinking about that. And of course, then another solution is providing taxpayer-funded health care for people that came here illegally.
What?
Speaker, I don't know where everybody
Are you
lives, but
fucking
I know
kidding
that
me?
people in the community that I'm privileged to represent are having a hard time paying for their own health care now, let alone paying for people that came here illegally. And again, that's a solution to stop people from coming across the border offered from our friends on the other side of the aisle. Let's face it, these are incentives. These aren't solutions to fix this problem. These are incentives to exacerbate the problem. I don't know what reality my good friends on the other side of the aisle are designing.
Fire all the
But
fucking
so far it seems to be
Democrats,
their
because they're all
platform has been
douchebags.
amnesty, apathy, or apoplexy. And we're frustrated because we know that the solutions are out there. We've worked on it here. We're happy and willing to work with our friends and colleagues on the other side of the aisle, but they seem paralyzed by theatrics and politics. We know that loopholes in our immigration laws are being exploited by human traffickers and drug cartels. They're taking laws designed to help the most helpless, and they're using them for profit at a tragic cost to children and families. Yet the policies and the solutions proposed by our good friends on the other side of the aisle expand those loopholes or create even brand new ones. And we know with hundreds of thousands of people streaming across the border, we need funds for beds and detention space. Some of our friends on the other side of the aisle say, well, we don't want you to detain these people, and we're not going to provide any funding for beds. So the answer is when they come across the border, don't even talk to them, just let them keep on going. Let them stay,
that's what
let the
they
children
want.
stay with their trafficker, and detention altogether,
Holy
leaving the
fuck.
trafficked child at the mercy of their trafficker.
Oh,
And then there's the
man.
Dangerous Transnational Criminal Organization.
Yeah, we're going
Not
down
only
the tubes.
trafficking in children, but children with
Let 'em go
drugs
right through.
that are ravaging your very community. They're coming across our southern border. Barriers and fencing and wall, they're a force multiplier, because if our Border Patrol agents don't have to stare at this place right here on the border because there's a barrier there, they can look over here where traffickers are coming across. But without any barrier, they have to look everywhere. There's just simply not enough of them. The other side shut the government down trying to stop us from securing the border. And these cartels make massive profits. You heard about El Chapo sentenced today? It's estimated he was making $3 billion a year, trafficking children and drugs into your community. $3 billion a year. El Chapo's in jail. Think somebody else didn't take over? Do you think he was the only cartel in Mexico? The other side is wasting more time on this floor passing partisan bills that have no hope of becoming law. Meanwhile, ICE made more than 1,500 human trafficking arrests, and 97% of those were for sex trafficking. 20,000 children were illegally smuggled into the United States in December of last year alone. 20,000 children. These are little kids.
What the
I know the
fuck?
statistics start to run together, but these numbers must be recited. As of March of this year, CBP has seen over a 50% spike in gang members apprehended at the southern border. Did you look to see what happened in Los Angeles just this week in the arrest and the horrific crimes? Is this what we want in our communities? People hatcheting and macheting each other to death, cutting each other apart? We have a great country. There's no reason to do this. In the last 2 years, ICE has arrested 266,000 aliens with criminal records. Those aliens had convictions including 100,000 assaults, 30,000 sex crimes, and 4,000 homicides. If you believe the cartels are going to stop making billions a year if we decriminalize the border and abolish ICE, you are not living in reality. Everyday children are being recycled across the border, serving as human shields. They send them across with somebody, they send them back, and then they come back with somebody else. That's trafficking. There's no consequence to it. It is time to stop just talking about protecting the children being exploited. It is long past time to actually start protecting them and our communities by closing the loopholes that are used to hurt them. A famous quote we have all heard goes like this: the only thing necessary for the triumph of the evil is that good men and women do nothing. And that's happening, Mr. Speaker, in this House. The country is still waiting on leadership of this House of Representatives to do something. I thank you for your attention. I thank the gentleman from Florida for inviting me, and keeping this issue front and center.
My
I yield.
fucking word.
Perry from,
They are gonna
Pennsylvania. I
destroy
appreciate
the
your passion. I
USA
appreciate your leadership on the
if
things
they're
you've
not
done.
already. And
You
then
talked
one of
about it,
these
Mr. Rowe
guys
talked
was
about
saying
it, Mr. Hoover
earlier
talked about it. It's edifying the
that
ICE
his,
agents
in Michigan
and
or
the
something,
Customs Border Patrol agents
he
doing
had
the job.
an illegal
They're doing the
alien who
job
had been
that this
busted
body
3
created
times,
the laws and the
killed a
policies,
mother
then
and
hired
an
them.
11-year-old
And then we have
son,
people on this
daughter,
side
and a
of the aisle
5-year-old
that are
son.
criminalizing
Shot
the
him
very
dead.
people that we hired to do this
He had
job that
already
they have
been
to
in
do.
trouble with the
And it's a
law
thankless
3 different
job.
times.
This, I know our side on the Republican Party, and I'm sure
What's
there's
wrong with you
Democrats
clowns down
that
there in
truly
D.C.?
are thankful
You a
that
bunch
our
of
ICE
turds?
agents,
Get your shit together and do something right for the American people, not those fucking clowns that you work for. And you work for yourself. You don't work for the people from your state. You work for yourself. Money, 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 money. Corporations win. Corporations win. No more lobbyists. Get rid of them. And when they have the people that give money to the candidate, you can only give $3,000, period. No ifs, ands, buts, or whatever. Let it fucking millionaires. Let them make their own campaigns.
And I implore anybody that's watching this to call your members and tell them you want this problem solved. There's no reason that this does not
Chris
get
Murphy
solved.
and
This is
Dick
something we can
Blumenthal
do.
in
Throw
Connecticut.
politics out of it.
Nah, they're just gonna fucking play with themselves until this is fixed. And it ain't never gonna get fixed, because those fucking clowns are gonna keep playing with themselves. Quit diddling yourself behind the fucking desk and use your fucking brain for me and the guy next door and the woman down the street. Do something for us instead of your fucking pockets.